It was a cold morning in rural Montana. The roads were still dusted with a light snowfall from the night before, and the sky remained an overcast gray. Michael Granger, a 42-year-old single father, was driving his rusty old pickup truck along the narrow road leading to his carpentry shop. His flannel shirt was buttoned to the neck, and a thermos of coffee steamed beside him on the seat. He was a quiet man. Life had taught him silence, not bitterness, just stillness. After his wife passed from leukemia 7 years ago, he'd raised his daughter Emma on his own, building furniture by hand and selling it locally. Every dollar went to Emma's education, and even now, with her away at college, he barely scraped by. As he rounded the bend near the old highway bridge. He saw her, a young girl, maybe 17 or 80, was walking along the roadside, hugging her arms tightly around herself. Her dress was thin and ripped near the hem, muddy from the slush. Her hair was tied in a makeshift braid, and her boots looked 2 sizes too big. She wasn't from town. He would have remembered a girl like that. Michael slowed the truck and pulled over. "Miss?" he called out, rolling down the window. "You all right?" She stopped and blinked at him, hesitant. I'm just walking," she said quietly, her voice barely above a whisper. "It's freezing," Michael said. "You'll catch pneumonia out here. Where are you headed?" She glanced behind her, as if afraid of being followed. "Nowhere, just away." Michael opened the passenger door. "Hop in. I'm not going far, but it's warmer than walking." She paused, staring at him with cautious eyes before nodding and climbing in. She barely touched the seat, clutching a canvas bag tightly to her chest. "You got a name?" Michael asked gently. "Anna," she whispered. "Anna Lee." He nodded. "I'm Michael. You hungry?" She hesitated, then nodded once. He took a turn toward town instead of his shop and pulled into a small diner. Over pancakes and hot cocoa, he noticed the way Anna's eyes darted around nervously, the way she flinched at loud noises. She didn't talk much, but every word was polite, cautious. "You run away from something, Anna?" he asked gently. She stared at her plate. "I didn't steal anything," she said quickly. "I swear, I didn't hurt anybody." Michael believed her. He had a gut for people, and she didn't seem like a threat. "Well, for now, you're safe," he said. "I've got a spare room at the back of my shop. You can stay a night or two if you want." Her eyes widened. "Why would you help me?" Michael smiled sadly. "Because years ago, someone helped me. When I had nothing?" She looked down at her plate, tears pooling in her eyes. That night, Michael set up a cot in his workshop office, gave her a clean blanket, and showed her how to lock the door from the inside. Emma used to sleep there when she was younger, pretending it was a fort. Now, it housed a stranger with secrets. Over the next few days, Anna slowly warmed up to him. She helped around the shop, sanding wood and cleaning brushes. Michael never pressed her with questions. He simply offered her space, warmth, and trust, but every so often, she'd ask about Emma, where she went to school, what she was studying. Michael noticed she always asked about Emma but never shared anything about herself. One evening, after dinner, Michael found her standing near the back wall of the shop, staring at an old photograph of a woman and a child. His wife and Emma? Taken years ago. She was beautiful, Anna said. "She was," Michael replied. Anna turned to him. "You've been through a lot, haven't you?" He nodded, not needing to say more. Anna paused. "Michael, if someone told you they were in danger, but couldn't prove it, would you still believe them?" "I'd listen," he said, "and I'd protect them the best I could." She bit her lip. "Even if it meant risking everything?" He nodded. Again, absolutely. She looked away quickly, as if the weight of his words crushed her. "Good night," she whispered and disappeared into the back room. The next morning, Michael woke to find Anna gone. The cot was empty, her canvas bag was missing. All she left was a torn piece of paper on his kitchen table. "Thank you. I'll never forget your kindness, Al." Michael stood frozen, heart sinking. He didn't even hear her leave. Weeks passed. Snow melted into spring. Life returned to normal, though emptier somehow. Then, one afternoon, a sleek black SUV pulled up outside his shop. 2 men in suits stepped out and entered the workshop. "Mr. Michael Granger?" One asked. Michael wiped sawdust from his hands. That's me, the man held out a photo. Do you know this girl? It was Anna, but not the same torn-dressed version. In this photo, she wore a pristine white dress at a gala event. Her smile was radiant, elegant, almost regal. I might, Michael replied cautiously. The man looked stern. This is Anna Lee. Vanderbilt. She's the granddaughter of Robert Vanderbilt. Michael's eyes widened. That name Vanderbilt was on half the buildings across the country. Hotels, banks, even colleges. She's an heiress, the second man added, and she's missing. We need to know if she came through here. Michael crossed his arms. She seemed scared. I didn't ask questions. The first man stepped closer. If you're hiding her, Mr. Granger, that's a federal offense. I'm not hiding anyone, Michael said calmly. She was gone before I even knew who she was. They exchanged a look and handed him a card. If she contacts you, let us know immediately. They left. Michael stood alone again, stunned. That night he sat on his porch, the stars blanketing the sky above. He thought about Anna's questions. Would you believe someone who couldn't prove they were in danger? Something was wrong. And if she was from that empire, maybe she wasn't running away from poverty, but from power. That night he whispered to the stars, "Be safe, kid." Unaware that just miles away, Anna was watching from the shadows, tears in her eyes. She would return, but not until the storm passed. 3 months had passed since Anna vanished. Michael resumed his routine. He worked in the shop, visited Emma's college once a month, and lived quietly. But Anna's absence left an ache in his days. He often caught himself checking the road, just in case she reappeared like a breeze through the valley. Then one night, as spring bloomed into summer, the phone rang just past midnight. Michael gradually answered. Hello? A familiar, trembling voice whispered. I didn't know who else to call. Anna? I'm in trouble, she said. Can you come get me? He was already grabbing his coat. She gave him directions, an abandoned gas station near the state line. When he arrived, he found her huddled behind the building, face bruised, hair disheveled. Her dress was torn again, though this time clearly designer before the damage. Michael knelt beside her. What happened? They found me, she whispered. My uncle. He's trying to force me into signing over control of the trust. Michael helped her up gently. You're safe now. No, she shook her head. You don't understand. My family. They're dangerous. Not just rich, powerful. My grandfather started the empire. When he died, the board split his legacy. My father died shortly after. And my uncle took over. But before he passed, my dad signed a private letter that left me control over the charitable foundation worth billions. Michael's breath caught. And your uncle doesn't want that? He doesn't want me to change the system. I wanted to use the money to help girls like me, not build more skyscrapers. He said I was a threat, so I ran. Michael nodded slowly. And now you need a place to stay? I need someone to trust, she said quietly. He hired private security. He's trying to declare me mentally unfit so he can get full control. Michael's jaw tightened. You're staying with me. We'll figure this out. Back at the shop, he set her up again in the office. But this time she looked smaller, worn, not just physically, but emotionally. Michael reached out to an old friend, Elena, a retired civil rights attorney who now lived in Oregon. She agreed to meet Anna. When Elena heard the story, she didn't flinch. We'll need documents, proof of your father's wishes, and somewhere safe to hold you until court. I have the letter, Anna said. But it's in the vault at our summer home in Belridge. That's why I came back. Michael looked at Elena. What if we help her get it? Then we need a plan, Elena said. The next few days were tense. They moved in secrecy, staying off the grid. Emma even returned from college to help, stunned that the quiet girl her dad once mentioned was heir to a billion-dollar empire. I knew she looked familiar, Emma whispered. She visited our school once during a charity gala. Anna nodded. That was before everything went wrong. Together they drove to Belridge, a wealthy coastal town. The Vanderbilt estate stood like a palace on a hill. Getting in wouldn't be easy. Anna disguised herself with a scarf and hat. Michael posed as a delivery contractor. Elena handled the legal distractions on the front. They snuck in at dawn. Through the servants' entrance inside the estate, Anna knew every turn. The vault's in the study behind the bookcase. They reached it just as an alarm blared. Her uncle had anticipated the move. Guards stormed in, but Elena had already tipped off a federal investigator, one who'd been building a case against the Vanderbilt Empire's misuse of charity funds. The feds arrived within minutes. In the chaos, Anna retrieved the letter. Her uncle lunged at her but was restrained. "I built this empire," he screamed. "No," Anna said quietly. "You just drained it." 2 days later, Anna stood before a judge with Michael by her side. Elena presented the letter. The court reviewed sealed documents from her father's will. The judge ruled in her favor. Anna Vanderbilt was reinstated as head of the foundation. Her uncle was placed under investigation for fraud, embezzlement, and coercion. Outside the courtroom, Anna hugged Michael tightly. "You saved me," she whispered. "No," he said softly. "You saved yourself. I just gave you a lift." 6 months later, Michael's carpentry shop had grown threefold. With a quiet donation from an anonymous foundation, he was now training foster youth in the art of woodworking. Emma graduated with honors. And Anna? She became a national symbol for ethical philanthropy, turning the Vanderbilt legacy into a global mission for good. But she never forgot the man who pulled over for a girl with a torn dress. Every week, without fail, a handwritten letter arrived at Michael's mailbox. Just 3 words. "Still grateful." Oh. One snowy evening, just as winter returned, a black SUV pulled up outside his shop. Anna stepped out, in jeans and a hoodie, holding a thermos. Michael looked up from his workbench. "You lost again?" She smiled. "No, just needed a lift," he smiled back. "Well, I've got room in the truck." They sat in silence on the porch, watching the stars. 2 quiet souls, $1 billion secret. And a bond money couldn't buy.